Hi everybody, Dr. Tanya here today to talk to you again about treating addiction. Specifically right now I want to talk to you about how to identify your underlying needs. What do you need? A lot of people don't know what they need, and that's part of their problem. Or they may know what they need and they don't know how to get what they need. And so again, in the framework of mind, body, spirit, what do you need? And so it's really important that when you're beginning this journey of uh, treating addiction, that you're going to have to identify what you need and what is missing. And then you're going to have to identify ways to get those needs met in a healthy way. So if we start with the mind, um, you know, you may need to get a coach to help you change your thinking. You may have a mental health issue. You may suffer from depression or anxiety. So you may need to seek mental health treatment, go to therapy. Uh, you may be lonely. And so you may need to create a social life, start getting out there and meeting people and spending time with people. You may want a romantic relationship that's not happening in your life. And that may be tied to this piece of not of having this addiction and not getting your needs met. And so what I would say is while you're focusing on this addiction piece, that you really want to focus on yourself and building yourself up and loving yourself before we start tackling romantic relationships, because a lot of times people can switch addictions easily, where they go from being addicted to alcohol to suddenly being addicted to love or sex or relationship. And so we don't want to switch addiction here. We want to really focus on the underlying needs and how to get those met. Body needs. So this is about going to the doctor, getting a physical. What's going on with your body? What do you need? Do you have a chemical imbalance? A lot of people have depression, anxiety because they have underlying trauma. And so they may need to take medicine that helps them to create a normal body chemistry that studies show that trauma permanently changes brain chemistry. And so some people need to change their brain chemistry back to the way it should have been had they not suffered the trauma. So there, you could have physical needs, that you have um, other things going on in your life that you're not treating because you're not caring for yourself. And so those things have to be addressed. What do you need? And again, some people have some self-esteem issue. They don't feel worthy. And so they don't feel like, oh, why should I deal with any of this stuff? I'm not worthy. And again, that is going back into the mind emotional piece of that the self-esteem is missing. And that is something that needs to be addressed. And again, that's a mental health issue that can be tackled in a number of ways, but actually tackling self-esteem is an issue to feel worthy to get one's physical needs met. So this is about going to the doctor. This is about diet. What are you putting into your body? What kind of food are you putting in your body? You are what you eat. It's very important that you take stock of the kinds of foods that you're eating. Are those the kinds of food that you would feed a baby coming into the world? Are they wholesome and organic, loving foods that really have nutrition, or is it a bunch of junk? So when you're looking at your mind and your body and your spirit and how to meet those needs, you want to look at it like you would as if you had a child in front of you and you were given a child and said, take care of this child, mind, body, spirit. So you have this child in front of you that is you, your inner child. You want to take care of that part of you. And if you're not taking care of that part of you, this is why the addiction is there. The addiction is sort of screaming like, you're not taking care of me. You're not taking care of me. So, I'm going to drink and wreak havoc in your life until you pay attention and figure out what are these needs that I have going on. So again, back to the body. Are you getting enough sleep? Are you having regular sleep? Like, again, I look at back to this is about parenting yourself. When you're parenting kids, What do kids need? Kids need a schedule. They need a regular schedule. They regularly go to sleep at the same time and they regularly wake up at the same time, and that they get enough sleep, or else they're what? They're a monster. And then they need a nap. And if they don't get a nap, they're more of a monster. So guess what? We're just like kids. We need all that structure. And if you don't have structure going on in your life, this is something that you want to look at as part of your physical needs, your body needs. Um, Food, exercise, the other piece. Are you getting regular exercise? Are you getting aerobic exercise? Are you doing things that you enjoy? What do you enjoy doing? Exercise shouldn't be this torture. Exercise should be this fun thing that you look forward, that you do every day, that's something that's for you. It's a form of self-care. So you want to start small. If you don't have an exercise program right now, again, talk to your doctor. You want to think of something that's really fun for you, that's slow impact, that kind of gets you going in this regular routine. Again, like the way you would parent a child. Spirit. Spirit is about what lifts your spirits. You want to do things that are fun. What is fun for you? Like season tickets to the ballet, or is it going to baseball games, or is it going to church, or is it going to a protest, making your voice heard out there in the world? What are the things that lift your spirit? This is very important for you to look at. What are your needs? What are your passions? What would you do if you had endless money and endless time and the self-esteem to do it? Do you want to take an art class? What is it that lifts your spirit? A huge part of your recovery is going to be identifying, what do I need? What are these needs? And what is a need versus what is a want? That's another thing. So some of this is very hard to do alone. And I'll tell you right now, actually, there's some emotional needs that we can never get met alone, that we have to get them met by another person. And for those of you that are in a relationship, this is something that can't necessarily be met in a romantic relationship. Because when you're trying to get all your needs met from your romantic partner, you're going to suck them dry, and it's just going to destroy the relationship. Because a person has to come to the relationship whole, and so each person is giving and receiving equally. And when one person is taking too much because they don't have enough, they have to go out there in the world and fill up their cup and get their needs met emotionally from somebody else. And so who is that? This is about talking to professionals, talking to a doctor, going to see a coach, going to see a therapist, going to find some mentor out there that can speak to you, that can be there for you. There's a lot of times people join support groups. Support groups are a great way to get support. There's plenty of free support groups out there. There are many, many talented individuals ready to give help if you're ready to go to the support group and ask for it. A lot of people have a very hard time asking for help. And this is another big piece about the needs, that people have needs, but they feel ashamed of these needs, and they try to suppress these needs and pretend they don't have these needs. And that's where it's a breeding ground for addiction. So this is about recognizing that we're all human, we're all vulnerable, we all have needs, and we need to get those needs met. And this is about you taking assessment of, what are my needs and how can I get them met? And yes, you're going to have to turn to professionals. A lot of people, by the time they get to the addiction phase, they're in a place where they need professional intervention. And so this is about accepting your humanity, developing that humility to reach out and ask for the help that is there if you will just ask for it. All right, stay tuned for my next video.